all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Surfer Girl, Hulkenberg and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
Welcome to Mexico City, the most popular city in North America, and home, of course, to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. And who, I wonder, will they be cheering on the top step of today's podium? The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Nico Hulkenberg lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Max Verstappen and Perez, Ricciardo, Sainz, Russell and Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda and Gasly, Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Alex Albon and Lance Stroll, Magnussen, Joe, Latifi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Surfer Girl. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Right then, we're off for the formation lap here in Mexico, and the excitement is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
okay, now stay alert for threats around you. We're currently trailing our teammate by 3.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in seconds. Okay, you're in the top 10. P9, you're running P9, keep going. Ricardo ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs. Ocon's behind you. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 1.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. The distance to the leader is 4.6 seconds. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. Okay, 17 laps to go now. Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Right, so the drivers we're racing are Perez and Hamilton. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Green flag. You only have to stop once now, 1 stop left. Your pit window is going to open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. Yellow flag. Someone's come off ahead of you, there's a yellow flag ahead. We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. we're really fighting today. Hulkenberg and Leclerc. Nico's ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 1.2 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:25.2. Okay, so you're gaining by around 0.6 a lap. Our gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds. Ahead. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:25.3. Box, we're coming in this lap. Tyre condition still looking good. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. You've got 11th, that's 11th place. Ju's ahead of you now. Okay, they're on old softs. Leclerc is behind you. Our gap behind is 3.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 2.7 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. And 11 laps to go. Almost coming in for his stop now. Gap to your teammate ahead is 17.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your last lap time was a 1:28.1. The drivers we're fighting here are Norris and Hulkenberg. Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Car ahead's coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres. And we've got 16 laps of fuel left. 16 laps. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 3.3 seconds. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Seconds. Yes, information on Hulkenberg. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Okay, that last lap was 1 minute 22.5. Don't worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Gap to your teammate behind is 7.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in fourth, and the time last lap was a 1:26.0. And the gap behind us is 1.5 seconds. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 9.4 seconds. Gap to your teammate behind is 10.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're currently 6th. Time last lap was a 1:27.3. Norris has just completed a pass for the lead. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 4.4 seconds. 9 laps of fuel to go, 9 laps left. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Okay, we've lost a position, that's us down a place.
What a dive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Tell me, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. Well, not the result our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Surfer Girl. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
Nothing can challenge the leaders in the Constructors' Championship at this point. But with that result, the sport's newest team can no longer be touched at the top of the table. What an incredible journey this has been for a team many had written off a short time ago. They are the Formula One World Champions. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.